Hello and welcome to Yoga with Maggie. This is the second in my beginners series of workouts. Hope you enjoy. As last time, if you've got a strap or, as in this case, the belt from my dressing gown handy, that might be useful later on in the practice. So I'm just going to leave that there. Today we are going to be starting in child's pose, which is on your knees with your hips sitting back on your heels and then your hands reaching forwards and your forehead resting towards the floor. You might want to have just a little sway side to side just to get yourself a little more comfortable. Gazes at the ground and start to feel how your body is feeling this today. Sometimes we wake up and feel fresh as a daisy, other days we feel a bit more lethargic. Every day is different, so just check in with yourself and see how you are feeling today. Then maybe notice your breath. So perhaps take a big breath in and then slowly let that breath go. And take another breath in. Fill those lungs and then slowly let that go. And once more, take a breath in. And exhale. So from your child's pose, we're going to lift up over the top of our hands and our knees, making sure that our hands are placed underneath our shoulders and our knees are underneath our hips, coming straight down from our hips. So from there, we're just going to gently move our shoulders around and around, starting off with small circles. Maybe as we get a bit braver, making those circles slightly larger. And this is a good workout for your wrists. If that's not good for your wrists, you can always put something soft underneath your palms just to lift your wrists up and change the angle slightly. Maybe even fold your mat over and use that as your prop. And then going the other way round, starting off with small circles and then getting slightly larger. As your shoulders come in front of your wrists, you will probably feel a pinch in those wrists, if not before then. And that's what we're trying to loosen up and waken up. And then come to a moment of stillness. And check again, have you got your shoulders lifted, not sinking down between your shoulders. So pressing the ground away with your hands, raising up the energy through your arms and your shoulders. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. And then as you exhale, rounding the back up, tucking the tailbone underneath you, tucking the chin to the chest, looking at your thighs or your belly. And then as you take an inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the tailbone, opening across the front of the chest, filling those lungs, and then reverse. So taking a breath out through the nose, rounding up the back. This is called pose of the cat. And then as you exhale, reversing that, taking a breath in, filling the lungs into pose of the cow. So let's try and get that into a little rhythm. So breathing in rounding up, exhaling, opening the chest, and exhale, and then inhale. Once more, exhale. This is so good for your spine mobility. And exhale. Coming to a nice flat back. You're going to tuck your toes underneath the feet at the back, and then you're going to lift your tailbone up. Doesn't matter if your legs are straight or bent. Maybe have a little pedal out while we're here. Heels don't have to touch the floor. Just do whatever feels good for your body. And if there's a few cracks, that doesn't matter. Just warming up the body. And then walking the feet towards the top of your mat. Knees can be bent. Taking a breath in, reaching all the way up. And bringing the hands together in front of your chest. So, just noting how you are standing. So, last time we talked about grounding down through the feet. Maybe lifting up all 10 toes, spreading them out as wide as you can, and then placing them back down on the floor carefully. Maybe having a little circle around those feet, going forwards and backwards, side to side, around and around, and just finding that centre of balance. Then moving up through the legs, tightening the muscles in the legs, spiralling the thighs inwards and backwards, tucking the tailbone underneath us, lengthening that tailbone down towards the heels, lifting the chest, opening across the front of that chest, shoulders back and down, jawbone drawn towards the back of your neck, crown of the head reaching up to the ceiling. Lots to think about. Then we're going to take a breath in and reach the hands up. We're going to reach the hands out wide, and as we do that, we're going to dive forwards with a knee bend and reach the hands down to the floor. We're going to take a breath in, lengthen the spine, place the hands on the shin, and then taking the breath out, hands back towards the floor, slight knee bend, breathing in, reaching up, and let's repeat. So exhale, diving forwards, slight bend in the knee, breathing in, hands to shins, lengthen the spine, belly button tucked into spine. Exhale towards the floor, breathing in, reaching up once more. Exhale, dive forwards, knee bend, breathing in, hands to shins, flatten the back. Exhale, hands to the floor, reaching in, breathing in, and let's dive forwards towards the floor, crown of the head reaching to the floor. This time you're going to step back with your right leg. You're going to place the knee on the floor and untuck the toes. Again, if this is not comfortable for your knee, just find something soft to place under your knee. Then, as we take a breath in, we're going to reach the arms forwards and then up. If that's too much for you, place one hand on your knee, other hand on the top of your knee, lift the body, and then maybe reach the arms up if that's okay. So gaze is up at the hands if that's all right with your neck. otherwise just keep the gaze forwards. Reaching the hands either side of the front foot, tuck the back toes under, and we're going to go back to downward facing dog. So with downward facing dog, fingers spread, shoulder blades spread across your back, drawing back and down. Head between your shoulders, maybe looking at your thighs, maybe looking at your belly. Spine is lengthened, trying to close the gap between your chest and your thighs. And then walking the feet towards the hands, taking a breath in, reaching up and folding forwards, Uttanasana. Stepping back with the left leg this time. Knee to the floor, untuck the toes and either hand on the knee or sweeping the hands up into your low lunge or Anjaneyasana. Hands beside your foot, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. And then walk the feet towards the hands. And we're going to reach up, breathing in. And exhale, dive forwards, knee bend if you need it. Stepping back with the right leg this time. Knee to the floor. Hand on the knee if you need it. Raise the torso. Reach up with the arms. Okay, this time with the arms, we're going to draw the elbows wide and back into what we call cactus arms. So we're looking like a cactus and then reaching back up. Exhale the hands to the floor, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. Walk the feet to the hands, breathing in, reaching up, standing tall, diving forwards. Exhale. Stepping back with the left leg. Knee to the floor, untuck the toes. Hands on knee if you need it. Lift the torso. Reach the arms up. Exhale the elbows wide and back into cactus arms. Reaching up, breathing in. Exhale the hands to the floor. Tuck the toes under. Downward facing dog. Walking the feet to the hands, reaching up, breathing in, and then diving back down. So hands on the floor, stepping back with your right leg. This time, if you can, leave that back knee off the floor. Place one hand on your knee, other hand on your knee. Lift your torso, get your balance, and then reach the arms up high for your high lunge. Exhale the hands forwards. This time, stepping back to downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to drop the knees to the floor. And then we're going to sit back to a child's pose. And then we're going to slide the chest forwards until you get onto your belly. At this point, you're going to move your arms so that your elbows are level with your shoulders into what's known as Sphinx pose. So we take a breath in as we raise our chest for a baby back bend into Sphinx pose. And then lower that back down. Bring the hands back under the shoulders. Come back onto your hands and knees. Lift your tailbone. Downward facing dog. Walk the feet towards the hands. Take a breath in. Reaching high. exhale forwards. Step back with the left leg. Again, this time leaving the knee off the floor if you can. Place the hand on the knee, lift the torso, reaching high with the arms. And then as you exhale, place the hands on the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Knees to the floor. Sit back to a child's pose, but this time the gaze is forwards between the hands, sliding the chest through until you reach your belly, moving the arms forwards, taking a breath in, lifting to your Sphinx pose, breath out, move the hands back under your shoulders, coming back onto hands and knees, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. Walking the feet towards the hands, breathing in, and exhale forwards. Stepping back with the right leg, leaving that knee off the floor. If you can sweep the hands straight up, then do that, pressing into that front foot. Otherwise, hands on the knee and lift the chest, then the arms. Then we're going to take a breath out as we reach the elbows wide, drawing them back, shoulder blades squeezing together, and then reaching up as we breathe in. Exhale the hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. This time knees to the floor, and from there you're going to bend the elbows back and lower the chest to the floor, leaving the hips high, sliding through those hands. Now, if it's okay with your back, you're going to leave your hands there. You're going to press the hands into the floor, and you're going to inhale and lift your chest. Doesn't matter if you only get to here. Okay, wherever you can manage. So this is called cobra pose. So tops of the feet pressing into the floor, glutes squeezing, and then lower back to the floor. Coming back onto hands and knees, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. Walking the feet towards the hands, taking a breath in, reaching up, exhale forward fold. Stepping back with the left leg. Again, hands on the knee if you need it, reaching up as you breathe in. As you exhale, draw the elbows back and wide, squeezing the shoulder blades together, cactus arms. All the time pressing back through the left heel and trying to keep that leg as straight as possible. Breathing in, reaching up. Exhale the hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Knees to the floor, chest to the floor, hips high, sliding through, keeping the elbows tucked in close to your ribs. As you take a breath in, reaching up with your chest, squeezing the glutes, feel the muscles in your lower back beginning to wake up, lower the back down, coming back to hands and knees, tucking the toes under, downward facing dog. Walking the feet towards the hands and taking a breath in, bringing the hands to prayer. Roll the shoulders back and down. Hopefully you're feeling a bit more warm, built up a bit of heat. So we're going to build up some more heat now. You're going to bend your knees, sink the hips down towards the heels. The weight is more into the heels than the toes. And then you're going to sweep the arms up until your arms are either side of your ears, palms facing each other. And this is called chair pose. Sanskrit name is Utkatasana, which means fierce pose. So no doubt you can begin to feel those muscles in your back firing up, hence the name fierce pose. Okay, so I think we've probably had it long enough in chair pose. So we're going to freshen up those legs, coming up to standing, taking a breath in, and as we exhale, forward fold. Knee bend if you need it, stepping back with your right leg. You're going to rotate the heel to the floor. You're going to put your hand on your knee and the other hand on your knee, and you're going to bring your body upright, and then you're going to circle your right arm back, reach your left arm forwards, and we're in Warrior Two pose. So with Warrior Two, check that your front knee is over your heel, that you can still see all 10 toes. If you can't, just wiggle that foot a little bit further forwards. Arms are reaching long at shoulder height, gaze is forwards over your front fingers. Tailbone is tucked underneath you, and your back foot, the heel, is slightly nearer the back of your mat than your toes. And this is Warrior Two. So we're now going to drop the right arm towards the right thigh, taking a breath out, and then as you breathe in, coming forwards, bending the elbow, reaching that arm up to the ceiling, gazing up at that hand if it's okay with your neck. Try not to put too much weight on the elbow that's on your knee. If you want to try an experiment, see if you can hover that elbow off the knee so that you know you're not dependent on it. Coming back to Warrior Two, dropping that right hand down, reaching up with the left again, and then straightening your front leg, bringing the arms to shoulder height. So we're going to glide forwards, following those left fingers as far as we can, and when we can't go any further, we then start to tilt, keeping those hips tucked underneath us and trying to look up at the top hand. If that's not comfortable for your neck, you can look down at the bottom hand, or you can just look forwards. You choose. So again, with triangle pose, we're not looking to get down to the ground, because when we do that we tend to stick our bottom out, and that's not what we're after. We're after keeping those hips underneath us and then reaching over to the side. And then coming back up, coming back to Warrior Two. Reverse your warrior again. Straighten that front leg, bringing the arms down, turning your left foot forwards, so you're now facing the long side of your mat. Hands to hips, take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to bend forwards, you can have your knees bent, and then you're going to reach your hands down towards the floor, knees bent or straight, whatever you can manage. So, from here, you're going to take a breath in. You're going to place your right hand on the floor underneath where your nose would be, so knees straight or bent, and then taking a breath out, reaching up for a twist. Feel that opening across the front of that shoulder. Breathing in, bring that hand down. Exhale the other hand up. Breathing in, bring that hand down. Let's do that once more each side. So breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, twist to the right, breathing in, bring the hands down. You're going to turn your Left foot forwards again to the front of your mat. You're going to walk your hands around until they're either side of that front foot, and then you're going to step back to downward facing dog. Have a little pedal out here if you need it. Shake of the head, make sure everything's loosened up, nothing is tight and tense. Fingers spread. Spread the weight across your hands. Don't put it all into your wrists. Okay, then if you can, you're going to step that right foot between your hands. If it doesn't quite make it there, just give it a helping hand behind your heel there. Your back foot you're going to rotate to the floor, and then one hand on your front knee, other hand on your front knee, lift your torso, and then you're going to circle the arms up so that you are in warrior two facing the other way. So you should now have your right leg in front, your left leg behind. And again, checking in with that front knee. Is it going out towards your little toe? Don't let it cave inwards. Check the back foot. Is the heel slightly further towards the back of the mat than your toes? And then dropping the left hand towards the left thigh, reaching up. And as you take an inhale, bending at the elbow, reaching the other hand up towards the ceiling. And then coming back to warrior two. Reverse your warrior, reaching up. And then straighten your front leg, bringing the arms to shoulder height, making sure those hips are tucked underneath you, reaching forwards until you can't go any further, and then tilting down for a lovely side stretch into triangle pose. Coming back up into warrior two, reverse your warrior, and straighten that front leg, turn your right foot forwards. I'm just going to turn around so that you don't have my back, and then hands to hips, folding forwards, bending the knee if you need to. If it helps, you can always have a block or a thick book in front of you to put your hands on. So just take a moment to let gravity work on your spine, decompressing your spine. As we sit a lot of the time and condense our spines, don't often get the chance to do this. Then, right hand on the floor underneath your nose, take a twist to the left, reaching up, and then inhaling that arm down, exhaling the right arm up. This is a lovely twist for your spine. And again, once more each side. Exhale the arm up, inhale the arm down, exhale the right arm up, inhale the hand down. So I'll just turn back the other way. So turn your right foot forwards towards the front of your mat, walk the hands round and step back to downward facing dog. Again, have a little pedal out, little sway, and then you're going to walk your feet towards your hands. You're going to cross them at the ankle, and you're going to come down to a seated position. So, first of all, you can either sit cross-legged, you can have your legs out in front. It's really up to you. Find a comfortable position. So we're going to lengthen the spine, reaching out through the crown of the head. You're going to place your right hand on the outside of your left knee. You're going to reach around behind you with your left hand, taking a breath in, and then as you exhale you're going to twist your torso round, maybe even to look at that hand that's behind you. Stay there for a moment, taking a breath in. As you exhale, is there any more twist in that upper body? Coming back to the centre, rolling the shoulders back and down. So taking your left hand over to your right knee, your right hand behind you, taking a breath in, lengthening the spine, and as you exhale, twisting the torso round to see if you can see that back hand. Staying there for a moment. Is there any more twist in that torso as you exhale? Coming back to the centre, rolling the shoulders back and down. Now this is where your strap will come in quite handy. So we're going to stretch the legs out in front of us. We're going to put the strap underneath the soles of our feet, and we're going to hold them out like so. Then we're going to grow our spine tall. Now it doesn't matter if you've got your knees slightly bent, whatever you can manage, but we're going to try growing tall, and then as we exhale we're going to reach the chest forwards towards the toes, lightly holding our strap. So we're not collapsing and rounding our back, we're simply reaching forwards with that chest. How close can you get your chest towards those toes? So we're not yanking on the strap, we're just holding lightly and just giving a bit of traction there, just to encourage us to open those hamstrings, give them a stretch. So don't forget to breathe nice and deeply, taking a breath in. As you exhale, sometimes there's just that little bit more movement into the stretch, and then as you inhale you maybe back off the stretch slightly, and as you exhale move back into that stretch. And then moving gently away from that stretch, we can take the strap off the feet, and then we're going to cross the left foot over the right leg. We're going to give that left knee a hug with our right arm, and then we're going to reach round with the left hand and look over the shoulder. So you'll probably feel a stretch on the outside of that left glute. So is there any more twist in that upper body? Hugging that knee in towards the opposite armpit. Gently turning back, straightening out the left leg, bending the right leg over the left, sitting up nice and tall. Give that knee a hug with your left arm, reaching round behind you with your right, reaching tall with your spine, taking a breath in, and then as you exhale, twisting the torso into that stretch. Ooh, that's a lovely stretch for the right glute. And then slowly coming back to the centre. Going to stretch out that leg. We're going to come to our backs. So just get yourself comfortable on your backs. walk your feet in towards your bottom. Try and get the heels in as close as you can towards your hips. Maybe even you can touch the back of your heel with your middle finger. If you can't, don't worry. So again, legs are hip width apart. And we're just going to start by practicing some pelvic tilts. So you're going to suck your belly button towards your spine, and as you do so, you're going to tilt the hips. You might just feel your hips very slightly lifting off the floor, and you'll feel your back being pressed into the floor. And then as you let that go, reverse it, so you're tilting your hips forwards. You'll feel the arch of your back lifting off the mat. And then we're going to reverse that again. So belly button tucked to spine, press that lower back into the floor. Hips are tilting backwards. And then let that go. So we're going to go for a little mini bridge today. So it starts off with the same movement that we've just been doing. So sucking the belly button to the spine, tilting the hips back. In addition to that, you're going to press down through the heels. You're going to squeeze the glute muscles and just lift your hips off the floor. They don't have to go very high, just a slight lift. What we're looking for is that squeeze in the glutes. So make those glutes do the work. And then lower back to the floor. So if that was all good, we're going to try again. Maybe go a centimetre higher this time. So belly button to spine, hips tilted backwards, lifting the hips off the floor, pressing down through the heels, squeezing the glutes. Make those glutes strong. They do a lot for us. Now, if you feel any pinching at all in your lower back, then you've gone too far. Come back down and squeeze the glutes even harder. And then slowly come down one vertebrae at a time until we're back on the floor. Let's try that again with our breath. So breath in as we suck the belly button to the spine, lifting the hips, squeezing the glutes. When you get to the top, let's take another breath in. And then as you exhale, lowering back down one vertebrae at a time. So we'll try it one last time. Best time, breath in, belly button to spine, lifting the hips, exhaling those hips up. When you get to your maximum, breath in, open the chest, and then exhaling the spine one vertebrae at a time, all the way down until your hips reach the floor. Then you're going to give your knees a hug for a nice counter twist. Maybe rock side to side. Give your lower back a massage. Maybe take the knees around and around, going both ways. And then stretch your right leg away from you. Place your left foot on top of your right thigh and take that knee across your body to the right hand side. Turn your head to the left for a nice spinal twist. Nice deep breath. Coming back to the centre, give that knee a hug, send it away, hugging the right knee, place the right foot on the left thigh, hand on the outside of the knee, take that knee across your body, looking the opposite way with your head.
Love this twist. Nice deep breath. Coming back to the centre. Give that knee a final hug. Send that leg away. Get yourself comfortable on your back. Roll your shoulders back and down. Chin tucked in. Hands open, palms upwards. And just start to let those muscles relax. Taking a nice deep breath in. And slow exhale through your nose. One more deep, long, luxurious breath in. And then slowly let that breath go. Then take 3 more lovely, long, deep breaths. Every time you exhale, all that stress and anxiety is just breathing out. Let it go. Then let your breathing return to its normal rate. Just soften down into your mat. So this is known as savasana. Sometimes we start the class with savasana. Most times we will end the class with savasana. It's just a lovely place to be. Now you can stay here as long as you like, but if you're ready, you're going to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You're going to rock your head side to side, give the back of your skull a bit of a massage. Draw your feet in underneath your knees. Roll over onto your right side. Pressing your left hand into the floor, gently and slowly coming up to a seated position. Maybe with your eyes still closed. Roll the shoulders back and down. Taking a breath in, reaching the arms wide and reaching up. Palms together at the top, bringing the thumbs down towards your sternum. And namaste. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, press the thumbs up button, and I'll see you next time for Yoga with Maggie.